Welcome back, comrades. This is Gaming with Austin, and today, sorry about, we're off of episode to 128th episode of the Utopian community series. This is still the first season. Under 28th episode of the first season. There are with the one of the most immoral things called greed. There are animals out there who need greed to survive. An example of animals that need to be greedy out of survival are one example of such animals are obligate carnivores. Which means they literally have no choice but to hunt. For the most part, the truth about why we started eating meat, how we acquired our first hunks of meat to eat. The truth is, when we first acquired our hunks of meat, a hunk of meat, we initially start off by scavenging. Initially, we start off by being scavengers. Our scavenging behavior helped us survive. And if I was to get meat, I'd acquire meat through scavenging, not hunting. You know, with cats, they have to hunt. If they only survived on dead animals they found, they'd get really sick really easily, as they lack the physiology to scavenge. Even if humans do go vegan, even if all of us go vegan, the meat industry will still thrive. Why? There are animals out there in our ecosystem that are obligate carnivores. There are animals out there that are obligate carnivores. Meaning that the animal must eat meat to survive. Like, well, be like Will the leather will the leather industry be like in the communist paradise? Like leather workers, they'd scavenge. They wouldn't hunt. With the cat food, like with if there was a huge indoor cat population around the world, there's no stopping the meat, and there's no thing you can do to stop factory farming. Initially, when we first acquired meat for consumption, we start off by scavenging. For me, if you want to be compassionate to animals, scavenging is the only way. Is the acquiring of the flesh of an animal that wasn't killed through predation. There is no animal in this world who wants to get slaughtered. Because one thing all animals have in common is that they want to live. They want to live long enough to reproduce. And possibly see their kids reproduce. Obligate carnivores have no choice but to hoard the lives of their prey. They have no choice but to do that. That's an example of physiological greed. That is an example of physiological greed. I know this is ironic, but true vegans do in fact feed their cats. Have to, if you want to be a true vegan, you have a cat. You need to feed them raw meat. Even though you're paying people to kill chickens, you're doing it for your cat. You are doing it for your cat, not yourself. With cats, their food will always cost other animals of different species their lives, all the time. Because cats are in fact obligate carnivores. Meaning whether you want to or not, you cannot put them on a vegan diet. In fact, some of them will only use it as to induce vomiting, and that's about it. You know, cats are one of the few mammals that must eat meat to survive. Feeding your cat a vegan diet is being a hypocrite. You can't punish your cat. You shouldn't. Punishing your cat just because he killed an animal is animal abuse. Because the cat kills other animals not because they want to, but it's because they need to. If they want to survive. It's not because they want to, it's that they need to. They need to. For us humans, there is a difference between a want and a need. An example of scavenging is eating the flesh of animals that die from old age. Is eating the flesh of an animal that dies from old age. That is scavenging. Hunting is killing an animal to feed an entire family. Dogs are scavengers. For the most part. But they will hunt when the opportunity arises. You know, if cats want to survive, you know, survival is a must. If you want to keep a species going. What's wrong with having a tiger as a pet? They're ginormous carnivores. What's even worse, they're gigantic obligate carnivores. Meaning you'd have to spend not only a fortune on meat, but also like they need a lot more land than cattle. You don't have to eat meat to survive. The ancestor to what became the felids, which are the feline family, or the cats, lived out in the desert. While the hyenas are mostly omnivores. The reason we have scavengers is they're basically nature's janitors, also known as custodians. What's really bad is the fact that cats have to eat meat. That's really the only thing they can eat. The reason we have omnivores and carnivores is to keep the animal population in check. The cafe is finished. Your cat will die if they don't eat meat. They don't just see meat as tasty, they see it as essential to survival. Meat is essential to their survival. The reason you cannot put your cat on a vegan diet is by nature they will kill. By nature, cats will kill. You know, your cat cannot... It can't just scavenge for food. Let's go to the main house. As soon as I GTFO this school. As soon as I GTFO this school, I'd get... As soon as I I'm gonna start building a pathway. You know, with cats... The reason cats do not eat vegan cat food, don't want to eat vegan cat food, it's not just that they don't like it, it's that they also lack the physiology to digest it. It's not just that they do not like it, it's that they also lack the physiology. The problem with trying to save all the animals is that at the same time you're putting animals with different physiology at risk too at the same time. Because you know, with cats, they are obligate carnivores. Meaning they have to eat meat. Meaning there are animals out there that must eat meat. That might suffer. But the truth is, most of the animals out there in the wild are in fact able to produce taurine on their own. They don't need in their all animals need taurine. Us humans produce as much as we need. If you want to put your cat on a vegan diet, you're going to have to pay for it with their lives. Because there's this Iams commercial, cat food commercial, which the cat says, "I'm not a vegetarian." Quote, "I'm not a vegetarian. I'm actually a vegetarian, actually. I'm not a carnivore. I am a vegetarian. Like, as a human." But cats, on the other hand, are obligate carnivores. Meaning, the only thing you really can feed them is meat. Raw, bloody, raw meat. The reason your brain cells use a lot more nutrients than all your other cells, most of the nutrients your brain burns up, your brain uses most of its nutrients to sustain life. Your brain doesn't use the nutrients to help you think. Your brain uses those nutrients to sustain life. What was the driving force of us eating meat? Rotting animals can... Rotting corpses are pretty bad for the ecosystem, which is why we need scavengers in our ecosystem. What should I do next? What if I could build offices for the staff? You know, with bigger animals, they have to eat more meat. The bigger an obligate carnivore is, the more meat they have to eat. Which means the more animals they have to kill. A true vegan, even though they might support the cruel meat industry, they're doing it for the cat. Whenever it goes supporting a really cruel industry, don't do it for yourself or your dog, Fido. The only reason to support the cruel meat industry is for your cat, or any other animal that is an obligate carnivore. The reason I am setting up this path is I'm gonna build an office for the staff. Look at this. This is beginning to start taking shape. Sooner or later, Nature's custodians are the janitors, are the scavengers. And if you utter the N-word in Africa, almost the entire population will lash out at you for throwing a racial slur. Uttering a racial slur in Africa. You know, if we were obligate carnivores, we'd be killing a lot more animals than ever. And a vegan diet would be unfeasible for anyone. Which means Paul Mazurkiewicz, the drummer of Cannibal Corpse, would probably end up dying from malnutrition, sadly. If this was the case. Of humans being obligate... in the scenario in which humans evolved to be obligate carnivores. Sadly, that'd be the case if we were obligate carnivores. But it's a good thing... the good thing is, it's not. You know, meat is really bad for your health and for the environment. Not all carnivores are obligate carnivores. Most carnivores are not obligate carnivores. In fact, most of them are actually facultative. There is a difference between facultative and obligate. An obligate means... an obligate carnivore is an animal that must eat meat. To survive. Which is why cats always have a hunting drive. They are obligate carnivores. I know this might sacrifice performance for this. Anyways, this is it for this video. Share this with your comrades on social media to help my channel. Follow me on Instagram at gamingwithaustin_Austin. As always, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. Peace out.